Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of Motorsports Magazine from Airborne. I'm Ricky St. Clair, joined by the driver, the Bob's Trucking Dodge Neon number 77, Keysville Napa Mini Modified. It's Chris Clark. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thanks.
5 top 5s in 2011 thus far into the racing campaign this summer. You got to be pretty satisfied with the way things are going.
Yeah, definitely. You know, after the start of the season was a little rough, and we got it all together and come back, so I'm definitely really happy. A lot of help, a lot of time, and I'm real satisfied with the way the year's going so far.
Talk about a lot of help and time. I know it takes a lot of man hours to make one of these things go successfully. How often are you in the garage with the crew?
Non-stop. It's non-stop. Multiple car team. It's just never ends. There's always something to do. There's always something you can do, and it's more of a art of trying to escape the garage.
What's the future looking like for Chris Clark? Do you plan on moving up anytime soon, maybe up to the Renegade division, a step higher from where the Mini Modifieds are at the track? What do you look to do in the near future here at Airborne?
Well, I could tell you a lot of things I'd like to do here at Airborne, but as far as finances and all the rest of the things that go into a racing team, but yeah, I probably see myself going to be doing bigger things here coming soon. So maybe, I'd love to actually get myself one of them modified cars, but maybe we do something with a Sportsman for next year.
I know it's a hot day here in the greater Plattsburgh area. You know, that's going to have an effect on the track. The sun's going to be over the asphalt, and it's going to be absorbing the sun. It's going to make the track really greasy. Talk about the adjustments you have to make to the car to make it fit, to make it suitable for the racing surface.
A lot of people feel that it's more an art of changing the car when it's really not. It's more yourself and knowing the limits of the car and not going too hard to save it for later on tonight when the sun goes down, when you can really use everything that you have. It's not, there's some adjustments we do, you can start with a little less air pressure and stuff to that nature, but the biggest thing is just keeping yourself calm and knowing that you have to be in the race later on tonight to win the race tonight. So
week in and week out, that Mini Modified division is ultra competitive. Almost, a half dozen guys could pull off the victory every Saturday night. Talk about the competitiveness in the division in 2011.
It is real competitive, and it's real great because in the past it's been a wreck fest, and a lot of people, there's a lot of bumping and banging, and now we've started to smooth it out, and everybody just runs smooth. We're running some of the longest runs that we've had in these four-cylinder cars, and it's great, actually. The competition's great. There's always somebody faster, and even if you're better than them that night, the next week they're better than you. So
I know earlier in the year, the Mini Modified division had a 25-lap feature event. That's the longest distance event scheduled on the calendar in 2011. Did you enjoy the extra distance race?
Oh, definitely. It's like I said, again, it's your chance if you're a driver to see if you can save yourself and drive the race car and not just have good equipment, but also manage it and have it there in the end. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I love the long runs, and I love to race my car, so it was a double win.
Chris, talk about sponsorship on board the 77 and anybody you'd like to thank on camera that helps out, like crew, family, friends.
Everybody. There's so many. It goes out to Bob and Susan LaFountain from Bob's Trucking. They've managed to pull me back to where I'm at. Bob takes good care of me. We work as a team, and I just everybody. My parents, they've all kinds of support. I mean, they're ready for me to move up. We're ready to do bigger things, but I'm having so much fun, it's hard to let it go.
All right, that's Chris Clark, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for another driver interview from Airborne Speedway next on Motorsports Magazine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Motorsports Magazine. Joining me now, the driver of the New England Motor Racing Supply, Woody's Auto Repair, number 29 Super Modified from Pelham, New Hampshire. It's Russ Wood. Russ, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us, and the whole facility, thanks for having us. We just love coming here. It's fun to race here.
And the inaugural appearance of the International Super Modifieds here at Airborne Speedway in 2010, you pulled off a thrilling victory with a last lap pass down the backstretch on Jason Belfiore. Talk about that win last year and your impressions of the Speedway, your first time here last year.
First time here, you can tell it's a first-class facility, real clean, nice, laid out, well run. And the track was pretty racy, and it's fun to race on. It's got some nice grooves, good banking down on 1 and 2. And as far as the race, we had a good car all day, and there's a few other guys who were pretty good, and we got better as we went. And I kept trying the low side on Justin because my car felt better. I just kept thinking I could pull it off, and I couldn't. And last lap, kamikaze, last chance type thing, I went to the outside, and it stuck, and we got around him, and It was a great finish. You know, Justin's clean to race with. My teammate at the time, Bobby Magner, ended up third, and I guess the crowds loved it. The promoter, Ismer, it was a really good race, and hopefully we can do as good this year.
When you and Jason Belfiore were coming down to the white flag, entering turn 1, like you said, you made that bonsai move on the outside. It looked like you outbraked him out there. Were you kind of setting that up laps prior to that move?
No, actually, I was hung up on trying the inside. I just thought I could do it, and coming down the front stretch there for the last lap, I'm like, this ain't working. I got to try something else, and threw it to the outside, and it stuck really good. I should have tried that like 20 laps earlier, and you just never know. You know, you just at that point I had nothing to lose, and it worked well.
It's a hot day here in the greater Plattsburgh area. How does that affect the super modified out in the asphalt?
The track's a little greasy, but it's tough on the drivers. You know, we got 3-layered driver's suits and underwear and helmets, and you know, we all got to deal with it. You just got to drink plenty of fluids, and it's hot in there. Hopefully the sun goes down a little later. We'll be all right. But I think that slows the track down, of course. But we all got to deal with it, so no big deal.
I know we were talking off camera. The touring series ran last night out of Oswego Speedway in Western New York. That's a 5/8 of a mile trial speedway down there, and you know, how does that compare to Airborne? Is there any transition period you have to make overnight to really make adjustments to the car to make it fit the Airborne half mile?
We went back to our setup we had last year because it seemed to work good last year, and we'll work off of that. Some guys, you know, they get their car balance good and they don't change it much, and some guys are constantly changing from track to track looking for that edge. There's no comparison. Oswego's a faster track. It's flatter. This track's, it's more racy. This track's fun. This track's more fun. Oswego's kind of, you got to have a car working really well, good motor. Here, I think a driver can make up for a little bit of what you don't have, and it's just a fun little place.
Talk about the progressive banking here at Airborne. I know it's 4 degrees on the bottom, 8 in the middle, and 12 on top. How do you use that to your advantage out in the racetrack during the racing action?
It's pretty cool that way. I really don't know how to use it, but I know I usually try to run a groove that the guy in front of me isn't running. So if someone's running low, you know, you try to go high. My car seems to, I got 3 and 4, 1 and 2 figured out here, I think. It's got a couple grooves there. You can go in high and in and off high, or you can go in low, and it's workable. It's different. It's not like everybody's stuck in the same groove. So this in the 1 and 2, it's pretty racy on that end, I think, for that reason.
For the people watching at home who are unfamiliar to the International Super Modified Association and you as a driver, talk about your career in racing. I know you told me off camera that you started in 1983 at Star Speedway in Epping, New Hampshire. Now pretty much running the ISMA Tour full time?
Yeah, actually I started in 81 in a street stock, in 82 a pro stock, and 83 a guy asked me to drive a Super at Star, and I said, yeah, sure. I drove for him for a couple of years, and he got out of the sport, but the first time I drove a Super, I was hooked on it. It's just the ultimate, most exciting thing there is, I think. You know, lightweight, high horsepower, they're fast, exciting. I still get a thrill out of it. And then I was asked to drive for another team owner, Eddie Shea and Jimmy Timmons. I drove for them for 10 years, and I drove for Paul Dunnigan for 10 years. And now I've been with Jeff Holbrook for 3 or 4 years now, and my same crew chief that was with Dunnigan. So I've been with the same crew chief for almost 14 years now, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool that we're not, you know, a lot of teams separate every year or two, and I've had a pretty good track history, been with the same team, so that just says something for the people I'm involved with, and whoever we get hooked up with, we seem to work well together. So, hey, we're just having fun running the Winged ISMA Tour.
I know it's got to be pretty important for you. It's got to be beneficiary to have that familiarity with your crew since you've been with them for so long. How much does that pay off, the familiarity?
I think it's a big plus. One example is Chris Purley.
Yep.
He's been the dominant one this decade, really, and they get the same old car, the same old crew, and you know they know what works and don't work on the car. Chris has a lot of confidence in the car, so he's the man to beat. But that's definitely, I think, an asset if you're with your people for a while. You know, you get to know each other and communicate better, which definitely helps. It's a team sport.
I know you mentioned Chris Purley from Raleigh, Massachusetts, also in the garage area. This afternoon is Ted Christopher. Teddy's known for his, you know, racing in the Wheel and Modified series in New England, and he's also the winningest driver at Stafford Motor Speedway in Stafford, Connecticut. Talk about the competitiveness on this 2011 International Super Modified Association Tour.
Oh, it's pretty fierce. You know, I admire Teddy. He's one of the best drivers in the Northeast, no doubt. I think we all know that, and he's always a threat no matter what. You know, we got Chris Purley again. He's been the super guy for the last decade, the guy to beat. We got Mike Lickey, who's, you know, he's a young gun. He's got good stuff. He's a great driver. It's a pretty competitive group of guys, and we got all our cars are pretty good. It's not like one's a lot slower than the others, so it's usually tough. We got Mark Samet. We got a couple newcomers. So we got a good group of guys that they're all fierce racers, out to win.
That's Russ Wood, everybody. Stay tuned for another driver interview from the Airborne Speedway next on Motorsports Magazine.
Thank you.
With me now, the driver of the Vic Miller Shea Concrete number 11 Super Modified from Raleigh, Massachusetts. He's the Rally Rocket, Chris Purley. Chris, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
The all-time winningest driver in the 37-year history of the International Super Modified Association Tour, and also 6 ISMA championships to your name. You bring that success to Airborne Speedway for the first time ever. What are some of your impressions of the facility and the racetrack after one practice session and being here throughout the course of the afternoon?
Well, I'll say my biggest impression is today it's hot. It's real hot. It probably makes it a little slick out on the track, but we're trying to get a handle on it. The car seems to be shoving a little bit right now, so the crew's usually pretty sharp. I hope that we can get a handle on it after a while. They came here last year with a different driver, and they did a pretty good job until they got a flat tire. So hopefully we can capitalize on what they learned last year and pick up a little bit and see if we can catch Woody and Christopher, because they're hauling the mail right now, and we got a ways to go to catch them.
I know, talking about Russ Wood and Ted Christopher here in the garage area this afternoon, talk about the competitiveness on this tour in 2011.
Oh, it's great to go to any track and just guess who's going to win. I mean, you go out there and look in the warm-ups, and there's a lot of new faces out there that are going real fast, and a lot of old faces that are going fast. But there's 10 or 12 cars at any racetrack that can win, at least, and it's a great series to have that to have that backing it up, and we'll just go out there and see who's going to get lucky tonight.
I know you picked up the win last night out of Oswego Speedway in Western New York. Talk about how the tour is going so far this summer. You pretty satisfied with the way things have been going for the number 11 Super Modified?
Yeah, I've actually I've only run 3 times this year, which is kind of short for the length of the season. But we've had a great 3 races. I'd almost like to stop now. They were kind of struggling here at Airborne, but we've got 2 wins in a second out of 3 races, and that's tough to beat. But all good things must come to an end, maybe tonight.
I know the occasional fan watching at home, they get to see these Super Modifieds here at the Airborne Half Mile once a summer. And like we mentioned before, you're from Raleigh, Massachusetts. Talk a little bit about your racing background. When did you begin racing, and how long have you been running with the tour here?
I started racing when I was 18, just out of high school. My father had a car. He allowed me to work on it, wouldn't let me drive it, so I had to go out and get my own. But I started a small division in Hudson Speedway up in New Hampshire, and progressed to the Supers after 4 years. Ran my own car for 4 years, and then hooked up with Vic in 1995. So it's been a long stint with the Vic Miller car, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I've had a blast here. We've gone to a lot of different tracks and had success everywhere, and it's just a good crew. That I think that's why we stay together, because everybody just rolls along, and whatever happens, happens.
I know you mentioned you've been running for Vic Miller since 1995. How important is that familiarity factor? How beneficiary is that for you?
I think confidence is probably 80% out there. If you know that you have a car that's going to stay together under you, and you just have a good idea of what it's going to do, you can put it in places that maybe it shouldn't be, and come out still rolling out of the other end of the corner. Yeah, I've been with this car a long time, and it knows me as much as I know it, and we just have a good time out on the track.
We've got to shorten this interview up a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Chris has got to go out on the racetrack for final practice for the Super Modifieds, but we'd like to thank you for coming on today's program. He's the Rally Rocket, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to rumble on the Airborne Half Mile. Racing action is next on Motorsports Magazine.
7 tonight, driven by Lonnie Rivers. Lonnie's from Cadyville. Then it's the 2 for Metalman. He's from Clayburgh. And again, Bordeaux will fall to the rear of the field with the 08. So the green flag is out. The 86 of Rick Donor moved into that point position on the inside, but he's getting passed left and right. The 357 on the top, the 22 on the inside. Good start for Curtis Seymour Jr. in the 357. He's got the lead running into turn number 4, and along the front stretch, he'll lead lap number 1. Rob Favreau at the line had the nose for the second spot. Rick Donor fighting back on the outside with car number 86. Right behind Favreau is car 11. That is Lance Rabtoy. Rabtoy with a Culligan 11 car was the winner last time out. He's also moved up in the point standings. Now sitting second in the points, 20 behind point leader Kevin Booten, who we saw in the first qualifier. So it's Curtis Seymour in the 357 showing the way, and then it's the 22 of Rob Favreau, the 11 of Lance Rabtoy, trying to work underneath that 86 of Rick Donor. He'll take third off of 2. Donor runs fourth. Fifth is Josh Allen in car number 10. Then it's Lonnie Rivers in the 7 car. He is running sixth and closing. And then it's Josh Terry in car 43. Terry fading back a bit. That car's been running strong for him of late, but not up to speed, it seems, at least in this qualifier. Curtis Seymour Jr., car 357 with a 2-car length advantage off of turn number 2. Rob Favreau, that 22 car, works on the outside, and here comes Lance Rabtoy, car number 11, plugging the hole down to the inside. He's going to try to take second off of turn number 4. That's where that car ran very well last week, and that's where he is picking up spots this week as well. The 11 car goes to the second spot. Favreau falling back to third and maybe fourth as Rick Donor has gone to the inside of Favreau's 22. He had third off of turn number 2, but now Favreau comes back after him on the outside. Lance Rabtoy closing quickly onto the back bumper of the 357 of Curtis Seymour Jr. His lead is a car length and a half at the start-finish line. Rabtoy running in the second spot. Rick Donor runs third. Rob Favreau in the 22 running in the fourth position. Then it is Josh Allen in car 10 running in fifth. And it's a gap back to the 7 car of Lonnie Rivers, who is sixth. Seventh is Josh Terry in car 43. And then Metal Man in the 08 having a battle at the back of the pack. 2 laps to go for the 357. Working a middle of high line off of turn number 2. That opens up room for car 11. Here comes Lance Rabtoy trying to get there. Rabtoy to the inside of turn number 3. It'll be almost even off the 4th turn as they race down the front stretch to the white flag. Down at the stripe, it's still the 357 by inches. Almost a dead heat at the line. The 11 surges to lead in turn number 2. Tries to clear him off turn number 2. He will as he goes to the top. 357 looks down to the inside as they race to turn number 3. He backed out of it to the 3rd turn. Lance Rabtoy sideways into turn number 4. Room down on the inside. Checkered flag is out. It's going to be Lance Rabtoy with the win. Curtis Seymour Jr. 2nd. Rick Donor 3rd. Rob Favreau 4th. 5th goes to Josh Allen. 6th will be Josh Terry. 7th goes to Lonnie Rivers. 8th, it looked like Andrew Bordeaux. And 9th, the Metal Man in the 2.
Modifieds ready to go with qualifier number 1. Richner, Hernandez lead them down the front stretch. Green, flag is out. Richner gets the jump on the inside. He's going to lead him in through turn 2 and up the back stretch the first time as Hernandez drifts a little bit high, and he's going to fall 5, 6, now 7 spots. 3 wide action into turn 3 as they all scramble looking for that number 2 spot as Scott Richner comes by to lead lap number 1. They continue the 3 wide battle down the front stretch. Bradley running in the number 2 spot. Right now in the 3rd spot, it's Josh Laporte's 45. The King runs 4th in the 20. He's right alongside the 22 of Chad Collins. Josh Leclerc trying to pick up a spot on the inside in the 7 car. He'll move alongside Collins, and they'll battle now for the number 5 spot. Up front, Scott Richner leads the way. The Bushies Auto Repair number 21 has led from the start. 2nd spot, Bradley taking a look at the outside. Backs jaw off just a bit. That allows the 20 of LaFountain and the 45 of Laporte to close in. Mini modifieds are halfway. Richner running that middle line, opens up a door on the inside for the 45 of Laporte. It's still Richner up front, but he's got Laporte on the inside and Bradley on the outside as they're 3 wide into turn 3. Josh Laporte sticks his nose in front at the bottom of the racetrack, and here comes Josh Leclerc trying to follow him through in the 7. Leclerc is going to go to 2nd. And LaFountain may take that 3rd spot away. The King's going to go to 3rd, and Richner's back to 4th. Now Leclerc looks to the inside of Laporte as they battle into turn 3. Laporte, your leader. He drifts high, and here comes Leclerc zooming by on the inside for the lead. White flag is out. Josh Leclerc on the inside, Josh Laporte on the outside. Up the back stretch the final time. It's a car length advantage for the 7 of Leclerc. Laporte coming right back on the outside to stick a nose in front, but here comes Leclerc right back on the bottom. They come off turn 4. They'll be side by side. Down the stretch they come at the line. Laporte to win it all. 2nd spot goes to the 7 of Josh Leclerc. The King finishes 3rd. Scott Richner 4th. And John Bradley rounds out your top 5.
Action, green flag. Right down into turn number 1. Look at Wickham on the outside. Here comes Scanlon working hard with Samet for third. They're side by side down the back chute. TC already wants to work from the back to the front. He goes high at the backside of Mike Lichty. Up front, leading the first lap, it's going to be Wickham, followed by Doritas. Down into turn number 1. Close action there between the 78 and the 88. That's Samet and Scanlon. Third and fourth, here comes TC underneath Rich Reed. Disposes of him and moves into fifth. One more spot, and he's got his handicap. Can Scanlon hang on to fourth? He's struggling a little bit out there tonight. Didn't get a whole lot of practice. Got here late to the racetrack. Meanwhile, watch a battle setting up for second place now. Says Samet dives to the inside of the 66. They're side by side off of turn number 4. Watch them now. The yellow and white car shoot down the front stretch into turn number 1. It's Samet and Doritas. Samet takes over second. Doritas drops to third. Now here comes Teddy Christopher. He's gotten by the 88. He's looking for the rookie of Doritas, and look at him close through 3 and 4. TC in the Clyde Boost Silver Bullet shoots into turn number 1. He's right on the rear nerf bar of Doritas. Now he looks to the high side. Up front, it's still Wickham. Samet in second. We're 5 laps in, 5 to go. This time by the stripe. Christopher underneath Doritas clean, and he takes over third. Watch Teddy Christopher. There's still enough time for TC to march to the front. Remember, though, he does not want to abuse his tires. They have to start the feature on the tires that they qualify on. Up front, there's a battle for the lead. It's Samet to the inside of Whitcomb. Samet down low. Wow, that didn't take long. Mark Samet from London, Ontario, moves into the lead past Whitcomb. Here comes Teddy Christopher now, the Plainville, Connecticut resident. Looks all over the back end. Looks low off of 4. Whitcomb feeling the pressure of the Wayland Modified Tour champion. Here comes TC. Nice move off of turn number 2. Side by side into 3, and TC moves to second. 2 more laps to go, this time by Mark Samet, your leader, in the Wells Foundry car. Teddy Christopher driving the Morello Racing Engines car, and certainly that engine's putting down some horsepower tonight. Over 850 horsepower for each of these super modifieds. White flag flies for Mark Samet. Samet shoots into turn number 1. TC is closing, but I don't think he's got enough time, and he might be all right with second place in this heat race. Meanwhile, back in third is the number 9, and they're coming out of 4 across the stripe with Samet as your winner, Christopher second, Wickham third. Doritas hangs on to the handicap spot for 4th, Scanlon 5th, Reed in 6th, and Lichty uncharacteristically at the back of the race. So still some struggles out there, Rob, with the 84. They're nose to tail, side by side. Here they come now through 3 and 4. Watch them off a corner. Green flag! Down the front chute, side by side, still into turn number 1. Good battle for the lead. Watch now, row 2 as well. Timmons and White. Timmons gets a jump now, moves into third. Up front, Seitz takes the lead. Timmons wants to go by the 97. He's right there right now. Oh, they bump off a 4. Action on the speedway. Wow, nice job by Jamie Timmons to gather it up there. That was close. As Timmons, and Timmons has problems now. Here comes Summers underneath. Watch the 27. Looks like something could be amiss with that car after the bump. Up front, it's Seitz. Ben Seitz with a lead. Danny Lane in second. Paul White from Temple, Texas in third. Robbie Summers for all of the problems that he had today. We've got issues on the backstretch. Dawson slowing into turn number 3. Dawson in the Reed Salvage 28 comes to a stop high on turn number 3. The veteran super modified driver having some problems out there. And tonight is Ben Seitz. He's on the point. He takes a green flag. We're back to racing at Airborne. Look at Robbie Summers on the outside of Paul White in that Sweet 16. Wow, White drifts a little high. Watch him now. Wheel to wheel into turn number 3. Summers in the JWJ, number 35. Gets a bit of an advantage and moves past. Here comes Purley now. Purley has to tuck back in. He waits till turn number 1 to go to the outside of White. Wants to make sure that White knows he's there so White can give him a little bit of room. Up front, Ben Seitz moving away from the rest of the pack on this one. Danny Lane hangs on in second. Summers in third. And, well, Purley's up to 4th. And that doesn't mean much because with his handicap and as good as he is, he'll start no better than 12th in the feature. We're halfway home. 5 in, 5 to go here in heat race number 2. Lane doing a good job out there. Had a good run last night at Oswego until they had engine problems. They worked until 3 o'clock this morning fixing that engine. Thanks to Jimmy D's in Syracuse, New York, for helping them out. Look at Chris Purley shooting down underneath Rocket Rob Summers. The Rally Rocket and Rocket Rob battle off of turn number 2. They're wheel to wheel down the back chute into turn 3, and the Rocket shoots by into 3rd position. Here comes Summers back now, low. Rob Summers working good on the bottom side. Danny Lane hangs on to second way out front. It's Bourne, Massachusetts. Ben Seitz. 2 laps to go in this one. Seitz with the big lead. Lane in second. Purley in third. And now Purley pulls away from Summers a little bit and goes to work on the 97. White flags out for Seitz. Watch the battle for second over turn number 4. Purley down low. Now he tucks into the rear Nerf bar. Here he comes off of turn number 4. 2, excuse me, I'm all excited as we got a leader coming out of turn number 4. It's going to be Ben Seitz with the win, but the battle's not over for second. Purley goes high and around. High side and wide. Danny Lane, holy smokes. Well, you know, I guess last night wasn't enough. Waiting until about 6 laps to go to win the feature. He decides to wait till the last corner. That seems to be the habit here at Airborne, apparently. Champion outside of him. Then rounding out the field, it's Ravels and Jedrzak. Green flag flies, and wow, a wild start there as they shuffled him through, going down into turn number 1, almost looking for 3 wide. Russ Wood thinks twice about that as a 37 of luck shoots by Danny Bose. The Byfield Bullet drops to third. Here comes Timmy J on the outside of your reigning champion, but the reigning champion says, nah, I'm not going to let that happen. I moved to the inside of Dan Bose. And he's about to dispose of him as he goes by in a third place. Russ Wood now in third. Up front, it's still Dugan with the lead. Lock in second. Fourth place belongs to Bose. He's trying to hold off the 5-time MSA champion, Tim Jedrzak. Timmy J, they call him. And look at Timmy J get the run off of 2. He looks to the inside. Not enough time to get wheel to wheel. He wants to make sure Bose knows he's there. Bose giving him a little bit of room, not too much. Trying to hang on to that 4th position. Look at the battle up front for the lead right now off of turn 2. Jeff Locke to the inside of Dugan. Down into turn number 3. It's close. Keep an eye on them. They both spun out in practice. They keep it straight now off of 4. And Locke takes the lead with moving to second. Dugan drops to 3rd. Bose hanging on to 4th. Just by a hair over the blue 32 of Jedrzak. This time by the stripe. We're halfway home. 5 in. Just 5 more quick circuits to go. Your leader, Jeff Locke. Second place, Russ Wood. 3rd, Dugan. The battle's now on for 4th as Jedrzak has pulled right to the rear Nerf bar. Going into the corners. Watch how much deeper. The 32 goes in. Here they come off of 4 now. Dugan has dropped back some. Bose has started to reel him in. Jedrzak looks high, way high as Dave Dugan off of turn number 2. Holy smokes. He was almost out in the dirt there. Another bad push. Wow, that car is evil out there right now, and that was close between the 18 and the 51. Jedrzak doesn't know where to go. He wants to go to the high side of the 18. The 18 wants to go to the low side. 2 laps to go this time by the stripe for your leader, Jeff Locke. Wood hanging on a second. Look at the battle off of 4. Wow, what a move by Bose. Jedrzak on low or up high, and he goes by. Now he's watching. Wow, that Jimmy D's horsepower showing right there underneath the 51 of Dugan. Dugan has to fix the handling on that race car before the feature. White flag flies, and Locke has a big lead over Wood. Jedrzak moves to 3rd. Now the battle's on for the final handicap spot as your leader comes out of 4th. For the win, it's Jeff Locke. Home under the checkers first. Russ Wood in for 2nd. 3rd place, Jedrzak, and right at the line, Dugan holds on over Bose. Man, oh man. Craig Ravels rounds out the field here tonight.
6 laps the distance in this qualifier. Off turn 4, the field picks it up. Green flag is out, and it's a good start for Travis Sherman in the 21. He quickly jumps to the lead from his outside pole starting spot as they're 3 wide up the backstretch. O'Neill gets punted into the bunker, but he does a nice job getting back. Look at this, 6 wide into turn 3. Can you believe it? Holy cow. Up front, Travis Sherman and Tyler Brissett have pulled away from what was a 6 across battle for the 3rd spot. The 77 goes for a spin at the top of turn 2. Trying to get it refired. Not going to happen. And the yellow flag will come out. 24 car has also gone around up at the top of turn 3. So 1 down, 5 to go. Bombers ready to go back at it. Sherman, Brissett, row 1, back to the green. Tyler Brissett doing a good job of sticking right with the 21 car as they head up the backstretch. It's Sherman, your leader, the 21. Brissett, 2nd. Curtis LaGrave Jr. has worked himself up to the number 3 spot, and he's quickly going to go to second. John Michael Brissett in the 14 will move through as well. He wants to take that 3rd spot away from Tyler Brissett. JMB on the inside now sticks a nose in front for the number 2 spot as he challenges Curtis LaGrave Jr. Josh Dervage on the inside moves up in the 88 car. O'Neill caught in the far outside. Signs right there in the middle. They're 3 wide once again coming off the 4th turn to the halfway point. Sherman is your leader in the 21. Brissett is second. And the 72 of LaGrave is third. Rob is enjoying himself far too much in here. Dervage on the move on the inside in the 88 car. He's going to try to take that 4th spot as he battles Tyler Brissett in the 8 ball. Dale O'Neill is 6th, followed by Rob Steins in 7th. Tyler Curry is 8th. Jason Branham 9th. The 74 car is 10th, a driver we do not have. The Joyal 58 heads back to the garage area. Tyler Brissett in trouble with the 8 ball. He's going to bring it back out onto the track, but not before he goes for a Dukes of Hazzard style right off that 2nd turn. Checkered flag is in the air. Look who wins it. Travis Sherman in the 21. John Michael Brissett finishes 2nd. 3rd spot to Josh Dervage. Curtis LaGrave Jr. 4th. Dale O'Neill finishes 5th. So a good job by Travis Sherman coming back from last week's disaster to pick up the win in the Bomber qualifier.
357 are trying to hang with him. The H2O just off the back bumper of the 86. It's Donor, Seymour, and Gordon still the blanket on top of him as they race to turns 3 and 4, and Lance Raptoy trying to get there as well. Donor showing the way as he finishes the pass off turn number 4. Here comes Gordon on the inside. That inside line coming to life as Gordon looks to grab second away from Curtis Seymour. Lance Raptoy watches that move, and he thinks about trying to get down to the inside as well with car number 11. But it's Seymour in the 357 who'll pull it down to the inside right in front of Raptoy, hanging on to the 3rd spot. Raptoy runs in position number 4 with the 11 car. Running in 5th, it's Don Franklin with car number 69. Rick Donor in the 86 shows the way, but the H2O with a good run off turn number 2 gets the nose underneath as they're in the middle of the backstretch going to 3. Here comes the H2O of Gordon. Donor in car number 86 trying to hang on to that lead, takes it right up against the wall off turn number 4. Down to the stripe, it's still Donor by 2 feet. But Gordon has that inside line working for him tonight. He'll take the lead over in turn number 2. Donor in the 86 tries to fight back and grab it back away from him into 3. It's still Gordon in the lead as they race to 3. Gordon's got the nose out in front. Here he comes off of turn number 4. The inside line comes to life for Robert Gordon, leading now by 5 feet. The 86 of Donor trying to stick with him on the outside. Lance Raptoy in car number 11 working to the inside of the 357 car for 3rd. Side by side racing for the lead. Side by side racing for the 3rd spot. Raptoy in car number 11 trying to surge to 3rd. The H2O trying to finish the pass of the 86. Donor's not going away without a fight. Gordon had the lead by half a car length at the start-finish line. Donor hanging on the top, but now Gordon with another good run on the inside off turn number 2 will be able to finish the pass. Donor will get down in line and follow the H2O around for a couple of laps. Racing off of turn number 4 halfway. Let's set the field. Gordon shows the way. Donor runs 2nd. 3rd is Lance Raptoy. 4th is Curtis Seymour. 5th is Don Franklin. 6th is the 25 of Kevin Boutin. Running in 7th is Rob Favreau. 8th is Jason McClatchy. Running in 9th, it's Josh Terry. 10th is Dave Drake in car number 3. 11th is Josh Terry in the 10. 12th is the 7 for Lonnie Rivers. 13th is Andrew Bordeaux. 14th is Jimmy Collins. 15th is the 2 for Metal Man. And running in 16th, and perhaps about to go a lap down, is the 51 of Freeman Sawyer. He will lose a lap in turns 3 and 4. Gordon pulling away now from the 86 as his lead is about 5 car lengths at the start-finish line. And before you know it, the 86 feeling a lot of heat from car number 11 and Lance Raptoy. Raptoy moves through on the inside, flying past the 86 as if he were standing still. Lance Raptoy goes to the 2nd spot. Let's see if he can chase down the H2O of Robert Gordon. He's got 10 laps to work with. And the lead that Gordon sets off of turn number 2, problems for Rick Donor. The 86 is headed back to the pits. Tough break for Rick Donor and car number 86, who had been running so well at the front. At the front, it's the H2O by 5. Lance Raptoy trying to chase him down. At the start-finish line, it may be about 4 car lengths now. Raptoy is slowly running him down. He's got about 8.5 laps to work with now. The H2O of Gordon, the 11 of Raptoy, clearly cutting into the lead in turns 3 and 4. The top 2 cars pulling away from third-place runner. That's Curtis Seymour Jr. in the 357. The battle on for 4th. Kevin Booten in car number 25 has moved to the inside of car 69 and Don Franklin. Racing for the 4th spot. The 25 had 4th off of turn number 2. But Franklin fighting back on the outside, trying to hang on to that 4th position. Gordon with the H2O has opened it back up to 5 car lengths. So it looked like the 11 was closing. But now the lead is back to where it was around lap number 15. 5 car lengths the advantage on the backstretch. Turns 3 and 4 is where Lance seems to close in, but Gordon gets a good run off of turn number 4, and that's where he seems to open it up. 1 and 2 is where Robert's car seems to be hooked a little bit better than the 11, and 3 and 4 is where the 11 seems to be doing a better job. In the backstretch, the lead is down again. It's about 4 car lengths, closing to 2, maybe even 3 in turns 3 and 4. Slower car in front of the leaders with 5 laps to go for Robert Gordon. The lead is now 3 car lengths. Lance Raptoy, second place point man, running in the 2nd spot, trying to go back-to-back in the Versatile Trailer Sales Renegade Division. Meanwhile, race leader Robert Gordon is looking for his 5th win of the year in 9 tries. He's been the point leader for much of the season, but with problems the last 2 weeks, he's fallen from 1st to 4th in the points. Kevin Booten, who is the current point leader, trying to get into the show spot with car number 25, and he has that 3rd position. And now Curtis Seymour fighting back on the outside off of turn number 4. Lap 22 goes up on the board. Lance Raptoy continues to close. It's about 2 car lengths off of turn number 2, but has never really threatened that H2O car. Can't quite get to his back bumper to see if he can make something happen. Leader racing off of turn number 4. Popsicle sticks are out. 2 laps to go for Robert Gordon. Gordon looking for his 5th win of the year. The lead continues to be 2 car lengths off the 2nd turn. Kevin Booten has cleared the 357 of Curtis Seymour and is now pulling away as he runs in the 3rd spot. Here come the leaders off of turn number 4. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Robert Gordon. Lance Raptoy is going to have to make something happen real quick now as they race off turn number 2. It's down to a car length, but Gordon with a smooth line off turn number 2 opens it back up to 1.5. Again, Raptoy tries to close in 3 and 4. The H2O works the middle line, comes to the top of the racetrack off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. Robert Gordon, win number 5. Lance Raptoy is 2nd. 3rd to Kevin Booten. 4th to Curtis Seymour. 5th to Don Franklin. 6th to Rob Favreau. 7th, Josh Terry. 8th will go to Jason McClatchy. And 9th, it's Dave Drake in the 3, followed by the 08 of Andrew Bordeaux and the 7 of Lonnie Rivers.
So the pretty H2O is in victory lane, as is Rob. Let's go downstairs.
All right, Rick, Robert Gordon quickly out of his car. Give a nice round of applause, everybody. That's win number 5 for the Milton, Vermont driver. He's been the point leader for much of the season, but Rob, it's been a couple of tough weeks for you. Tell us, first of all, about the problems that you've had with this race car over the last couple of weeks, and what have you had to do to get it back here to victory lane?
The week before last, our flywheel came apart, cracked the motor, broke the transmission. So we got it all back up and running with a brand new transmission, brand new everything. Came last week, and it was slipping junk right out of the crate. So we put the old one back in it, and it feels good to at least finish the race again.
I was watching you in the qualifier, and you were taking it as high in turns 1 and 2 as I've ever seen you take this car. What was it about that line tonight that seemed to work for you?
I was just trying it in the qualifier. I was out front pretty good, so I could use it to see where I wanted to go. Now there's quite a little bit of stuff up there. I hate to drive it real high and get in the stuff to get a flat tire, but car went good tonight. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Premier Paving, Advanced Energy, Milton Auto, H2O Well Drilling, Barstow Insurance, my pit crew, Randy, Julie, Jim, Scott, Nancy. Renee's not here, but thank her too.
Congratulations on win number 5. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Robert Gordon, everybody. And
Gets the jump, and they're going to go 3 wide to try to get by him going into turn number 1. Scramble on for the lead as they head up the backstretch. Richner on the outside, the 0-2 of Riel on the inside. Trouble on the backstretch. We've got 2 of them headed out toward the Jersey barrier. That's the 41 of LaFountain and the 0-3 of Speedy Brissett. Caution flag is out. Richner will start the field as they come off turn 4. They pick it up, and we are underway. Look out! Laverne Way sideways on the front stretch. The King hammers into him. Everybody else looks like they're able to get by. 3 laps complete, 17 laps remain. Kaysville Napa Mini Modifieds coming off turn 4, going back to the green flag. A nice start for Josh Leclerc in the 7, and he's got a couple of car lengths by the time he gets into turn number 2. Up the back stretch, Leclerc is your leader. Second spot, that's a good 3-car battle between the 45 of Josh Laporte, Eric Riel, 0-2. Here comes some room on the inside for Eric Sales, 47. Sales is going to move through in the bottom of the racetrack and take that number 2 spot. Eric is looking for his 3rd victory of the season tonight. The 45 of Laporte runs in that number 3 spot. The 23 car, Justin Donor. He's run real well in that car since taking over the driving duties from Larry Archer. He's going to move into the number 4 spot. Riel is back to 5th. John Bradley is 6th. Speedy has worked himself up to the number 7 spot alongside Scott Richner, who runs 8th. 9th spot goes to the 43 of Malcolm Woodward. Chris Clark is 10th. Jason Seymour's 35 is 11th. Jim Varno is 12th. 13th on the outside is Rico Hernandez. And the Airborne fan car, the 84 of Brian Montroy, has got the best view. Lavaire's 4 headed back out of the garage area, but he's going to be 3 laps down. Varno pulls the 07 back pit side. New leader up front. That's a car that won the track championship in this mini modified division in 2010 when it was driven by Captain Thunder Rick Donor. Eric Sales purchased it in the offseason. He's had great success so far. It would be win number 3 if he can hang on for another 12 laps. Josh Leclerc is right there, just a car length behind. And that's 5 or 6 back to the 45 of Josh Laporte.
Chris Lavere came out, ran a lap, and went right back into the pits with a 4 car.
Problem still with that 4 car of Lavere. Points lead is certainly going to take a hit tonight. So 2 separate battles going on. 2 cars, first and second, the 47 and 7. And the 45 of Laporte, the 23 of Donor. Then it's another 2-car battle for the number 5 spot between the 0-2 of Riel and the 69 of Bradley. Mini modifieds are halfway. Speedy now running 7th in the 0-3, but he's about to face a challenge from the 77 of Chris Clark. The 03 drifted a little bit high coming off turn 2. That opens the door up on the inside. Speedy tries to shut the door, and as a result, goes around. Nice job by Speedy Brissett hanging on to it after contact with the 77 of Chris Clark. And out of that, Speedy's only going to fall 2 spots from 7th to 9th. And he may get 8th back quickly as he looks to the inside of Richner. Good separation in this mini-modified main event. The 47 of Sales, the 7 of Leclerc running comfortably in the 1st and 2nd spots. And then the best battle on the track right now is for the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th spots. Justin Donor's 23 has moved inside Josh Laporte to take 3rd spot away. Laporte back to 4th, and then the 69 of Bradley and the 02 of Riel run side by side for the number 5 spot. Both cars will be quickly coming upon the house car that's being driven by Brian Montroy tonight, the 84, the track-owned mini modified. A complete lap number 14, this time by 6 laps to go for Eric Sales. This would be win number 3, and it would be back-to-back victories for the Saranac Lake driver if he can hang on for 5 more laps. He's actually opening up distance on the Josh Leclerc, number 7. And it's quite a gap back to that third spot, which is still being held by the 23 of Justin Donor. The 45 of Josh Laporte sticking right with him. And it's about a half a straightaway back to the battle for the 5th spot, where Bradley and Riel are still going at it. Chris Clark runs 7th in the 77. Speedy is 8th in the 03. 9th is the 21 of Scott Richner. And Malcolm Woodward rounds out your top 10 in the 43. This is probably, Rob, the most strung out we've seen this field of mini modifieds all season long. Usually they're running bunches of 3 and 4, 5 and 6 car battles for a position, but they are well strung out tonight.
The guy who doesn't mind is Eric Sales. He wants to see that continue. No yellows, and he's going to cruise home to his 3rd win, back-to-back at that.
And he's at the point right now where he's not going to have to worry about lap traffic, because right now it's just 2 to go. 2 laps remaining for Eric Sales, and back-to-back wins here at the Big A. Josh Leclerc comfortably in that number 2 spot, with Justin Donor, Josh Laporte, and John Bradley rounding out the top 5. Leaders come off turn 4. White flag from Butch Hendry on display. 1 to go. Up the backstretch the final time. Sales will work his way around the Jason Seymour 35, as does Josh Leclerc. Checkered flag is in the air, and your winner going back-to-back. It's Eric Sales in the 47. Josh Leclerc 2nd, 3rd spot to Justin Donor in the 23, with the 45 of Josh Laporte and the 69 of John Bradley, rounding out your top 5.
All right, give him a nice round of applause, everybody. That's win number 3 for Eric, back-to-back with his number 47 car. A race that was really slowed in the early going, Eric, by a number of caution flags. Three basically starts to the race by the time we finally got some green flag laps underneath us. Let's go back to the qualifier. You had some problems in the qualifier. Tell us what you had to do after the mishap in your heat.
Just blew a tire, sliced it up pretty good, and the toe was knocked out of it. But other than that, it was everything was all right. Just racing for the same real estate.
So you made some quick repairs after the qualifier?
Yeah, just the tire and banged a few dents out.
And then one of the things that we noticed during the race is the field really got strung out. You worked your way to the front, maintained about a 5-car length advantage, and that was something that you didn't mind because in the lead, when you don't have to deal with a lot of lap traffic, no caution threats really, you were happy to see it to go green flag the rest of the way.
Yeah, definitely. This car is very consistent, and which is what wins the race, slow and steady.
Well, congratulations, Slow and Steady has won you 3. Right. Nice job.
Thank you. Thanks to Mike and Steve, and thanks to my sponsors, Ben Lawrence Excavation and Trucking and Sales Construction. Thank you.
All right, that's Eric Sales, everybody. He's won 3 on the season now in the mid.
Folks, here we come through turn 3. Nerf ball, wheel, green flag. Right down into turn number 1 we go. Up to the point already. It's fast Danny Lane. Doritas drops back to 2nd. Here comes Rocket Rob Summers, and we're 3 wide off of 2 in mid-pack. Down into turn 3. Samus shoots up in about 6th position. Off of turn number 4, leading the first lap, it's going to be Lane. Lane has the lead down into 1, followed by Summers. Doritas, Sights, a battle right now for 5th between Dugan and Locke. Locke takes over 5th. He's on a move already. The car looks good. Russ Wood on the bottom, moving up a little bit ahead of his compatriot, Chris Purley. Purley going to the outside. He said earlier that he's having trouble figuring out this racetrack. Look at the battle for the lead now. It's Lane and Summers out of turn number 4. Summers dives low. Does he have enough time? No. He has to tuck back in. He's going to set him up off of turn number 2. Side by side off of 2. Down the back chute they go. The red car of Summers shoots to the lead. And Lane drops to 2nd. Doritas continues on in 3rd. Look at Teddy Christopher on the move in the Silver Bullet 61. Dugan dropping back now. They had a tight race car. He struggled all day long. Samet now underneath the 37. The white 78 with the orange numbers. That's Mark Samet from London, Ontario, Canada. They go wheel to wheel down the front chute. And now Samet moves up into 5th position. Samet into 5th. He sets his sights on the 17 of Ben Sights. Sights out of Bourne, Massachusetts. Samet out of London, Ontario, Canada. Look at Mark Samet, look low. Wow, what a crossover move on the front chute. He's right there on the rear Nerf bar. Up front, it's all Rocket Rob Summers. Samet now underneath sights. Samet moves to fourth. Back in the pack a little bit further. We're watching Teddy Christopher, 2008 Whelen Modified Tour champion. TC on the move to the front. Christopher started outside of row number 6 in 12th starting position. The fast cars start from the back at ISMO. We want to give you folks a great race here. And now TC underneath Russ Wood. Turn number 1. There it is. Teddy Christopher takes over the spot. Russ Wood drops back one. Remember, Wood held on all race long and at the end came on strong to pass Justin Belfiore in the last corner of the last lap to take the win. Wood could be biding his time right now, saving the tires. Teddy Christopher is steamrolling through the field. TC has passed the 37 of Locke. He's moved up to 6th position. Teddy Christopher in the Clyde Booth Morello Racing Engines car is on a streak. Look at him now. The Silver Bullet shoots underneath the 17. Action at turn number 3 as the 61 takes over another spot to move to 5th. Rocket Rob Summers, a straightaway lead ahead of Danny Lane, who's doing a great job. Chris Doritas, the rookie as well, hangs on to 3rd, but Mark Samet has started to reel him in. Now Samet right up to the rear Nerf bar in turn number 1, looks high, does the crossover, coming out of 2, can't get the job done yet, but keep your eye on the battle for 3rd. Samet up high. Here comes TC now into the mix. We've got a battle for position on the racetrack in turn number 1. Doritas feeling his oats out there. Looks low underneath the 97. Wow, look at Samet and Christopher. Here comes Doritas. Action off of turn 4. Down the front chute. TC takes over the spot. He moves into 4th. Doritas is trying for 2nd, but TC wants to go further. Teddy Christopher on the outside of Doritas. Can he get by? Keep your eyes focused on the battle for 2nd right now, folks. Down the front chute they go. Doritas has the low side working good. Lane has a bit of a push. We've got action in turn number 3. Yellow on the speedway as Rich Reed goes around. Here we go now, folks. Nose to tail. Green flag. And right away, TC goes to the inside of Doritas. Teddy Christopher takes over 3rd in short order. Christopher has moved up. Boy, Samet tried, but he got the door shut, and he has to hang on to 5th. Watch the 37 of Locke and the 29 of Wood as well. Timmy Jedrzak looking to make a move on the number 9 of Whitcomb. Back about 10th position. Jedrzak in the 32 goes underneath Whitcomb. He takes over the spot. Wood's going to work on the 37 of Locke. And now a battle for 2nd. Teddy Christopher. Oh, we've got Russ Wood into the wall. Your 7-time and defending champion, Russ Wood. Timmons out of this one. Rocket Rob, a little bit faster. Green flag flies, and we're hauling mail here at Airborne. Oh, and a scrub on the front stretch wall. I believe it was Timmy Jedrzak in the 32. Jedrzak in the 32. Look at the 78 of Samet. Samet now to the outside of Doritas. Tiptoe off at turn number 4. It tightens up a lot for the big super modifieds. Samet still on the outside. Christopher has now moved to 2nd. Sets his sights on your leader, Rocket Rob Summers. Doritas and Samet continue side by side. Great racing there. Battle on for 4th place right now. And it's not over with yet. The rookie showing your defending high miler super modified nationals champion. The fast way around the track is on the bottom right now, but Samet has figured out the top side, and now he moves into 4th. Teddy Christopher has reeled in your leader, Rocket Rob Summers. TC in the Silver Bullet 61 is right there. 3rd place continues to be the 97 of Lane. Let's see if he can hold off the 78 of Samet. Lap number 20 in the bag. Samet working Lane low, and that made it look easy. Meanwhile, we got a pass for the lead up front. Teddy Christopher shoots underneath the 35 and takes over the spot on lap number 21. Christopher up front now. Samet trying to work his way up to the 35. He's got a long ways to go to get there, but he's already pulled away by about 4 car lengths over the 97. Doritas doing a great job right now in 5th. Your rookie driver now has to fend off the charge of the 37, Jeff Locke. Locke in the Shaman equipment, number 37. Right there. On the 66, Timmy Jedrzak now moves into the mix. The heat is on Doritas. Doritas looks good through the corner. Still holding off the 37 of Jeff Locke. Chris Purley has started to move through the field. 25 laps in, we're halfway home. Teddy Christopher with a lead. Rocket Rob Summers in 35 second. Sam at 3rd, Lane 4th, Doritas 5th. Then it's Locke, Jedrzak, Seitz, and Paul White. Up front, it's all Teddy Christopher. Clyde Booth told us before the start of this feature, if it doesn't work tonight, I'm cutting it up and building a new one. Doritas now, look at this. He's challenging. 3rd position right now. Battle off of 4, down the front chute. Doritas looks low. Lane gives him a little bit of room. He's not going to give it to him, though. Doritas has to work for it. Lane uses the horsepower to pull back in front, but he can't get through the corners. Here comes Doritas low, off of turn 4. Chris Doritas in the 66, putting the pressure on the 97. Jeff Locke and Tim Jedrzak kind of waiting to see what happens right there. Watching the battle now for 4th. The 97 of Lane, still holding off the 66. Here comes Doritas off of turn number 2. Doritas can't get beside him far enough to make the pass work off the corners. Here comes Jeff Locke now in the 37. Locke wants to take advantage. Whoa, right to the rear nerf bar of the 66. Has to get out of the throttle to gather it up. There goes Doritas. Doritas has moved to 3rd. Lane has dropped to 4th. Yellow, caution on the speedway. Dan Bowes, the Byfield Bullet, sits sideways in turn number 4. This is not what Teddy Christopher wanted to see. Certainly helps out Mark Samet, though, as he doesn't have to work quite as hard to catch the rear nerf bar of the 35 of Rocket Rob Summers. So Doritas had just made the pass. He'll have Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we like to call super modified racing. What do you think of the show here tonight at Airborne? Do you want to see them again next year? All right, that's what we like to hear. You know, usually we give a victory lap to our winner. And our flagman, Frankie Horvath, leans in and says, hey, TC, you missed the checker flag. He says, I don't race these things enough to know that. I missed the memo. Clyde Booth reaching in, saying congratulations. Winning car owner. Trying to climb up out of that car, and you know, like I said, the car owner, Clyde Booth, says, if it doesn't work tonight, we're going to cut it up. I think maybe they rethought that. Here comes Mike Ordway Jr., his father, of course, a 6-time Mr. Super Modified with Clyde Booth. Here comes 2008 Wayland Modified Tour Champion, and your winner here tonight, Teddy Christopher! And he's pretty doggone happy, I gotta tell you. You know, this guy, up until last year, had hardly raced super modifieds, but we knew each time he got in him, he was going to be a threat to win. What a race tonight, TC. Congratulations on your win here at Airborne.
You know, Mike Parati's been trying to get me here for years, and it's such a long haul to come up. I tell you, I wish it was closer. I'd come here and race every night. You know, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Great crowd tonight. Thanks to all the fans and stuff. This place would be a great place to come on Saturday nights. Friday nights, whatever race you guys race. But I really want to thank Clyde Booth for putting up with me with this. And you know, we ran last night in Oswego. We're a little disappointed we didn't run as good as, you know, he or I wanted to. And, you know, it gets a little disappointing. But, you know, he stuck with me where I don't really know these cars that well. And, you know, trying to relate to him what to do with it and everything. But he gave me a great car tonight. I really got to thank Clyde, Susan, my friend Donnie's here, Larry the tire guy, and, you know, everybody on this team that helps out, VP Fuels, Marola Motors, And once again, thanks for the crowd coming out tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about another round of applause for your winner, Teddy Christopher?
All right. We'll try again to get this final event of the evening underway. Again, look at the jump for the 3-car.
Ruh-roh.
Well, he hit the gas as soon as the green flag came out, so I think it's going to stay green this time. The 16 coming back on the outside as they head up the backstretch. And O'Neill's going to pull right alongside Rob Sainz. 3 wide action into turn 3. Here comes the 21 of Sherman. There's some contact with John Michael Brissett's 14. A good job by JMB to hang on to that one. Spent a lot of hours getting the 21 back after he was involved in a front stretch crash last Saturday night. We got the 74 car spinning over in turn number 1, and that's going to bring out another yellow flag. Yellow flag is back out as the Bombers are coming off turn 4, 3 and 4 wide, and the 16 car goes around. One lap down, 14 remain. Sainz inside, O'Neill outside. They come off turn 4. Green flag is out. Much better start for the Dale O'Neill 16. He's only a couple of car lengths behind the 3, who hammered it as soon as he saw the green flag. They head up the backstretch. O'Neill looks to the outside of Sainz. Now he's going to swing to the inside as the 3-car drifted high. O'Neill is going to be your leader. LaGrave is on the move in the 72. He gets inside the 21 of Sherman. Travis Sherman trying to follow the 3 of Rob Sainz. Sainz cuts back to the bottom of the racetrack, right in front of the 72 of LaGrave. Now it's Sherman who's hung out on the outside. Here comes Duravage through. And the 88 car trying to crack the top 5. Dale O'Neill leads the way. The second place car, JMB, the 14 of John Michael Brissett. He looks outside O'Neill as they come off turn 2. O'Neill drifts up in front of him, opens up the door on the bottom, and here comes Brissett on the inside. LaGrave kicking up the dirt in the bunker as we've got a new leader. John Michael Brissett leads the way. Dale O'Neill right alongside trying to get back at him. Josh Duravage has moved the 88 into the number 3 spot with the 72 of Curtis LaGrave Jr. running in the number 4 spot. Travis Sherman is 5th. Rob Sainz 6th. Bill Joyle 7th. Tyler Crary is in the 8th spot. Tyler Brissett in the 8th, running in the 9th spot. Jason Branham rounds out the top 10. And it's the 24 of Walt Parrott and the St. John 74. That's your field as we are 1/3 away through this Bomber main event.
Rick, we need Chad Blair to report to the customer service booth. Chad Blair to the customer service booth, please.
John Michael Brissett leads the way. Here comes Josh Duravage to challenge for the number 2 spot. The orange 88 moves up inside, and the orange 88 sticks a nose in front at the line. Duravage and O'Neill run side by side. O'Neill drifts high, Duravage drifts high, and that opens the door on the inside for the 72 of LaGrave. Here comes Curtis LaGrave Jr. like he was shot out of a cannon to move into that number 3 spot inside the 88 of Duravage. Duravage says not yet. He's coming right back at him on the outside. Great battle for the 2nd spot. O'Neill 16, Duravage 88, and LaGrave 72. As John Michael Brissett, another driver looking for his first career win, appears to be in command. They'll complete lap 10 next time by. It'll be just 5 to go for Brissett. And as long as the 16, 88, and 72 are battling for that number 2 spot, they aren't going to get it today. 5 to go this time by for JMB. Brissett, your leader. O'Neill remaining in that number 2 spot. Both Duravage and the 88 and the 72 of LaGrave have had a difficult time getting by. But again, the 16 car goes high. This time, kicks it up in the bunker. He's going to go from 2nd to 3rd to 4th, now 5th. One corner, O'Neill loses 4 spots. Now there's some open track between the 14 of John Michael Brissett and the 88 of Josh Durvage. We'll see if Josh and Curtis have anything for him. The lead is about 15 car lengths as they complete lap 12. Chief starter Butch Hendry will grab the popsicle sticks. There will be 2 to go next time by, with JMB looking for career win number 1. And that lead is staying right about the same, 15, as he comes off turn 4. 2 to go. Brissett will have to deal with a couple of slower vehicles, the St. John 74 and the Parrott 24. Brissett gets inside. Look out, the 24 came down just a little bit, saw the leader, and wisely goes to the top of the racetrack. White flag is out. John Michael Brissett has seen that lead shrink to about 10 car lengths, but nonetheless, it's a good size advantage as they race up the backstretch the final time. Nice run through 3. Nice run through 4. Checkered flag is in the air. John Michael Brissett, career win number 1. Josh Durvage second. Curtis LeGrave finishes third. Travis Sherman finishes 4th. And the 5th spot goes to the 16 of Dale O'Neill. We'll go downstairs for one final time to wrap up the program. Let's go to Rob Knowles.
All right, first career victory for John Michael. That's always a neat thing when somebody wins for the first time. Again, we need Chad Blair to stop down to the customer service booth if he's still here. How about a nice round of applause for John Michael Brissett? Come on over. Congratulations, John Michael. You got to the lead. And do you take a peek at the scoreboard when you come off of turn number 2 and see the 88 and 72 creeping up on the scoreboard?
Oh, I was definitely paying attention. I was just hoping for no cautions.
Well, we were talking about it upstairs. There's only one first career victory, and this is yours. And I know you've been trying to get here for some time. It has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it feels great. I just want to thank my cousin Speedy. He put a lot of time into my car this week. And thank all my family, everybody at the racetrack, everybody who comes. I think it's awesome.
All right, John Michael, nice job. And Speedy, excellent job getting to victory lane with John Michael. Now it's your turn, coming up soon. All right, congratulations again to John Michael as he gets the win tonight of the Bombers.